Hi, welcome to Get a Clue Casual Gamer, where we get a clue, C-L-U-E, about a game, or in this case, a list of games, because we're continuing our look at party games. This is part 2 of party games. So if you missed past part 1 last week, you can check it out. Last week was racing and betting games. Today, it's all about words. Today, we're going to look at word party games. I did do a list on word-based games a few weeks ago, and a couple of these games were mentioned in that one, but these are specifically party games. Not all of those were party games. In fact, some of those word games were two-player games, which is definitely not a party game. So today we're going to look at 5 party games. I'm doing a series on 5 categories of 5 party games in each category over the next 5 weeks. So let's get a clue about some word games. I'm putting these in order from the oldest to the newest so that you can see the progression, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information about each one, and that way that might help you decide if it's a game that you would be interested in getting for yourself, especially since summer is coming and you're going to be together with family and friends, whether it's on a rainy day and you need something to do, or in the evening to kind of like wind down from being out all day. Here are some games that could fit your bill. So number 1 in the words party game is a classic. It is a modern classic, and it is called Code Names. There are all sorts of code names now. This is the original, but there's also not a party game. It would be Code Names Duet because it's for 2 players. But there's a Code Names Pictures. There's a Code Names Disney. There's a Code Names. I'm pretty sure there's a Marvel one. I mean, there's all kinds of code names. This is the original. So this is the one I'm going to just talk about a little bit. It came out in 2015. It is, out of the word games that I have here, considered the most complex, but it's like it's not even as complex. Well, it's about as complex as Phase 10. You know, it's not really that hard. So I want to tell you, when it comes to the ease of the game, it's easy to pick up. Maybe not so easy to win, but easy to pick up and easy to teach. Whoa, I almost lost my box. Just to give you a little insight, it's got the rules, a bunch of cards, cards for agents. I believe these are more cards. I think these are ones I've already used, so I was kind of like separating them so we didn't use them right away. And then these little boards and a timer, because you are timed if you play it correctly and not just for fun. If you do play it in teams, it's a team game. It is basically what you're doing is you're going to have a grid of 25 cards with 5 by 5, and they're all going to be cards like these. And when it's your turn to be you're trying to get your team to pick. If you're the red team, you're trying to get your team to guess the words that are in the spot that has a red mark in it. And you can give a clue, one word clue, and how many cards should that one clue cover of the ones you're trying to get them to guess. You don't want them to guess the other team's words, because then you just give the other team points. And more importantly, you don't want them to choose the spy or the the double agent or whatever they're calling it right now. I can't remember. Oh, the assassin. Sorry, the assassin. You don't want to choose the assassin, but you want to choose the others. So that's basically the game. You're just trying to get your team to pick the words that you know are your spy's words. Like I said, it came out in 2015. It takes about 15 minutes to play if you're, per round. And then you can do as many rounds as you want. A round is each team has a chance to do this, to guess the words. It plays up to 8 people. And all the prices that I have for these 5 games, I just went on quickly on Amazon, and if Amazon had it, I just put down that price. You might be able to find it cheaper someplace else, but this is the price. And on Amazon, this is currently going, the original one is currently going for $18, which is a very good price, very easy on the pocketbook price for a party game. And it's a classic. It's been around, well, like I said, 7 years now. And when I bought it, it had over 5 million copies sold in 40 plus languages. So it is popular around the world in their own language, of course, because it is a word game. Anyway, number 2 is a game that came out in 2018. You will notice that all of these games are very modern games. I am not including traditional games or games that came out in the 80s like Balderdash or Scattergories, or a little bit later Apples to Apples. I'm not including those. You already know about. I'm not here to tell you about those. I'm here to tell you about some that you might not have heard of before or seen. And so in 2018, Just One came out. Now and it won the Spiel des Jahres Award, which is the Game of the Year award, in 2019, because it came out in 18, and it has to come out in German for them to nominate it in the Spiel des Jahres. Now, my box is very full, rules, because I have 2 boxes worth of supply. Well, not the cards. The cards are just the one set, but I have 2 sets of these little stand, and they're rubber banded together, so I'm not going to undo them. But they're a little stand that you can write on with a whiteboard marker, and that and the markers and the cards with words on them and the rules are the components for this game. Now, basically, this game is, again, a team game, and in fact, most of not all of them, but yeah, okay. Some of these are team games and some aren't. So let's go back to what this is all about. On each of these cards, there's 5 words. When it's your turn to guess, you take a card off the top where you don't see what the words are, and without looking at them, you place it in your little holder here facing everybody else. And then you pick a number from 1 to 5. And whatever that word is, that's the word that everyone is going to try, well, your team is going to try and get you to guess. Now, you don't have to play this in team. You can just play this for fun and not worry about points, which is actually usually how we play it, because we just want to have some fun. And actually, yeah, I'm so bad. Pay no attention to what I said about teams. This is a cooperative game. As a group, you get 13 off of this deck, 13 cards, and you're trying to get as many of those correct guessed correctly. And you go around taking turns until those 13 cards are gone. Now, if you want to play it again, or if you want to use 20 cards or 1 card per person so that everyone you know has a turn, that's up to you. Now, it comes with supplies for 7. Okay? So it comes with supplies for 7. Like I said, I kind of took 2 and combined them into my 1 box, which is why it's kind of like poofs out a little. Anyway, but the kind of weird part of the game is that, okay, everyone knows, let's say for instance, like in this example here, there's 5 words there and you say number 3, which is snow. Now everyone is trying to get you to guess snow. How are they going to do that? Well, on their little stand, they are allowed to write 1 word. But here's the weird thing. It cannot match anybody else's word. If 2 people or more choose the same word after everyone's written their word, then they show it to each other, and the person who's it does not look. It's easy to just close your eyes and just let them do their little discussion. If any of them is duplicated in any fashion, like white, white, or frozen, frozen, or anything like that, all of that word gets taken away. They can't show it to the person who's it. So you're trying to come up with a unique word that still helps the person who's trying to guess the word. And basically that's the game. And you go around, you take turns, and you do that. For instance, the example on the back was chocolate. And so somebody wrote Belgian, somebody wrote milk, and 2 people wrote sweet. So the sweets were canceled out. And so the guesser only had milk and Belgian to guess a word. And somehow it says that they guessed chocolate. I'm not sure if I could have guessed chocolate. Now, I tell you, like I said, I have double in here, but I actually have more than that, because just in case I find myself with a really large group, I've kind of stuck in here some wipe off index cards that you can get and order online, and I have those as well that I keep in here just in case. It's like I haven't had to use them there. I figured I've got 2 sets of this game. I've given them my money. And so I just kind of keep them all in this box, and I have a band to put over it to keep it from opening up. But for right now, this is it. So let me give you a little bit more info about Just One. It is considered the easiest out of all of the games we're looking at today, or actually, well, yeah, it's supposedly the easiest. It plays in about 20 minutes. It plays up to 7. You have to have at least 3, but it plays up to 7, and you can find it online for $21. $21, very good price for it. And you have a game, a party game that is light and is cooperative. Number 3 is, for me, my newest one, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet. And it's called Blank Slate. I mean, by new, I mean within this past month. So I have not had a chance to play it yet, but it is a simple game. It came out in the same year as Just One, 2018. Let me open this box up. Put stuff around here. It has the scoring board. You can play up to 8 players. 8 players. And the game rules, that's it. Those are the rules for the game. I love party games. They always have short rules, easy because they're meant to be played by people who might not necessarily play a bunch of games. Comes with erasable markers that have little eraser tips on the back top, so that's kind of nice to help. And then it has 8 of these chipboard kind of whiteboard cards, one for each person, and they're all color coded so that each person has their own color. And this game is basically, and this is not a cooperative game, so you know, you're trying to beat everybody else. So yes, not a cooperative game. But what happens is when it's a person's turn, they pick up one of the cards, and for instance, this one is P blank. You cannot put like one letter, an S, and make it P's. No, that's not allowed. But pod, P pod, why not? On this side is blank keeper. It's like beekeeper, okay? Those are my little personal examples. What you're trying to do in this game is actually match with one other person. If you match one other person with the same word, then the two of you get 3 points. If you match with more than one, you get 1 point each. If you don't match with anybody, you get a goose egg, a 0. So the goal of this game is really to match with one other person. Come up with a word that not too many people will choose, but at least one person will choose. And that is this game. I just gave you the basic instructions. That's why this is all that you need here. It's a light game. It's an easy game. It's an available game. You can find it in a lot of places, a lot of gaming places. Your friendly local game store should have it. I got it online. Actually, I'm thinking I got it from Target. Now that I think of it, in one of those buy 2 get 1 free deals that they have every couple months. That's where I got mine, was Target. Now, online, it costs currently $25. So there's another $25. It plays up to 8 people. It plays in approximately 20 to 35 minutes. So it's really not a long game. And it's a really good party game. So there you have Blank Slate, number 3. Number 4 is the silliest, if you're looking for a silly, absolutely silly, but not active, but silly nonetheless, word game. Poetry for Neanderthals. Poetry for Neanderthals came out in 2020, okay, year 2020. It is by the same people as Exploding Kittens, which, for those who might know Exploding Kittens, it's been around for a little while, so some people know it. The instructions start you off right down the right foot. Hey, don't read these rules. Reading is the worst way to learn how to play a game. Instead, go online and watch our instructional video, and then they give the website. But then, of course, you do have the rules. And these are the rules. That tells you how serious this game is. Little cartoon things. And then, you know, playing with 2 or 3 players instead of teams. They have the rules for that. And you have, these are not like high quality, heavy duty card stock, you know, thick chipboard. This is a thick card stock. But yeah, it serves its purpose. It's a scoring thing, okay? And that's part of it. And then this one is for which, you know, for teams and stuff. Is this, why is what, okay? That's upside down on that side and right side up on this side. Okay, that is just silly, silly, people. And then you have a bunch of cards with words on both sides and some little nonsense stuff. The Croc's Words of Love and Sad, which are kind of like a very, very mini version of Mad Libs. You got little blanks and you fill in the blank. It's got a timer because this is important. The timer is used much in the game. So there's one other item that comes in your box, and it is over here because I had to get it prepped. It is the no stick. The told you it's a silly game. The game basically is the person who's it picks a card, and at the beginning of the game you choose, is it going to be the gray side or the orange side, and everyone follows suit. Okay, let's say this is my word, this is my card. I can either go for the word, just the 1 point word, pool, or I could go for the 3 point words, pool, noodle. Now, if I go for the 1 point and they get the 1 point, great. I can choose to go on to the 3-pointer, but if I make a mistake and get hit with the no, then I lose the point. But if I go for the 3-pointer and they guess the 1 point word, which is part of the 3-point word, I can stop there and just take the point. At any point, I can stop and just take the single point. Now, what is this game? Okay, so my word is, let's say I'm just going for pool. What you have to do is get your team to say that word, but your description can only be in single syllable words. If you say a word that has 2 syllables, bonk, no, and you can't go with that word anymore because you used a 2-syllable word or a 3-syllable word. So for pool, place with water you can swim and hope they get pool. Or I could say, okay, they say pool. I go, pool. Oh my gosh, how do I get them to say noodle? Long stick floats. And see if they can get noodle, pool noodle. Anyway, that's the game. So you want some silly fun? The opposing team gets to bonk. If you have an odd number of people, then that odd person is the bonker for the whole game. They get to stand over each person and bonk them on the head with the no stick. So yes, that is Poetry of Neanderthals. Now, let me give you a little bit more practical information about this game, Poetry for Neanderthals. Again, came out in 2020. It plays in about 15 minutes because, I mean, it's 15, 20 minutes, however long you want to bonk people on the heads with. It's the next to the simple. I basically, this whole thing, code names, is probably the most complex out of all of these. But obviously, Poetry for Neanderthals is not a hard game at all. It is a very casual, silly party game. You can find it online for about $20, and plays up to, well, it says 2+ players because one could bonk the other, whatever. You have to have more than 2 players. But 6, 8, it plays, I mean, online it says it plays up to 12, but really it plays up to however many you want. The more you have, if you want to go all the way around and give everyone a chance, the longer the game will be. If you have 2, 3 player, well, 3 or 4 players, it's going to be a 15-minute game easily. The timer is 90 seconds. So that dictates how long you have to get them to guess as many words as you can get in 90 seconds. And that is poetry for Neanderthals. So you would get bonked and bonked. 4 is the only word that you're allowed to say in that title. And number 5 is from 2021, So Clover. So Clover plays up to 3 to 6 players, but really it can be done in teams as well. It comes with supplies for 6 individual people, but you don't have to. It's a cooperative game. You want to work together. It, like it says, it has these lovely plastic shamrocks and a bunch of these little cards that have little holes in them, which in turn will fit over these little these little spiky thingies. And you randomly place 4 on your board, on your little board, and whatever words are at the top of each side, you need to come up with a 1-word clue that works for both of them. Either it combines them or it literally can work with either or. You know, so I'm trying to, so it's I'm going to grab 2 randomly and just, okay, whatever's on top. Explosion and luck. I have to come up with a word for explosion and luck. Alive. It's like alive. And hopefully when they see the words, when they see the cards that will be taken off, they will be able to put together, depending on what's on all 4 sides. And you score as a group depending on how, if you get them all right the first time, or how many they get correct after you've taken off the ones that are wrong, and they rethink and replace, and then they get, you all get a point for each one that is correct. It's not a hard game. It's not too hard to explain, but when it's your turn to come up with the words, that's the hardest part, is sitting there going, how am I going to come up with a word that, when they see these, because, you know, they're in a corner, so the word on this side, you know, this side is what I've got, but on this side there's another word, and if I can get them to know that that goes there, then maybe they'll say, oh, well, explosion could go with that, you know, or luck explosion, I don't know. Anyway, so that is So Clover. Like I said, it came out in 2021. It plays in about 30 minutes, and it plays up to 6 players. Or if you do teams, or you can just have certain people doing it and then everyone else guessing, and then once it's been used, you can pass it along and erase what they had, and somebody else can be working on it while everyone else is trying to figure out the next one. So you can keep on doing it for as many people as you want and for as long as you want. It is a very fun game. retreat last September, game retreat, the Dice Tower retreat. This was one of the popular party games that, yeah, the light games that we just want to have some fun. We've done some really heavy game. Now we just want something light and fun. This was new that last year. And so it was like, who's got it? Where is it? Yeah, let's play it. So, and it has held up since then. So it's a thumbs up, a double thumbs up for me. You can find it online for $25. And like I say, the complexity is it's as hard as it is to come up with that one word on the 4 sides. That's how hard it is. If that's hard, then it's hard, and if it's not, it's not. So it's kind of like, yeah, and you just have fun, and it's party game. It's party game that uses words. Okay, but it also, if you've got people or young people or older people who are, you're trying to, use a few of the brain cells, it uses brain cells. Even poetry for Neanderthals uses brain cells, because you have to come up with 1-syllable words to describe things. So anyway, so those are five word games, party games. Okay, the cheapest was 18, the most expensive 25. They're all in that very low complexity range of 1.05 to 1.28, which is ridiculously easy level. And they all run between 15 and 35 minutes. So they're quick, and they go, most of them you could do 6 to 8 players. Or teams, and so they're party games. So happy gaming. God bless you and your family. Subscribe to this channel if these videos are interesting to you. I try to put up 2 a week, one on Monday at 5 p.m. and one on Thursday at 5 p.m. And I do have these scheduled, and we have 3 more party game lists coming up in the next 3 weeks. Bye.